Okay, so when you are solving a polynomial, essentially what you are doing is you are looking for the x-intercepts. Okay, so when you do that, you are looking for values of x that make y equal 0. So if we can get a graph, we should graph. Okay, it's going to make our life a little easier. But if we cannot graph, okay, we have to go through what we call the rational root theorem. And the rational root theorem states that any rational root, which means fractional or integer root that we have, will be a factor of the constant term over the factor of the coefficient of the lead term. Okay, so if we're looking at something like, let's say this, okay, what that means is if this thing has a rational root, the rational root will have a numerator that's a factor of 18 or negative 18 over a factor of 1 because that's the coefficient of the lead term, which is x cubed. So this gives us a way to make a list of possibilities. I apologize for all the background noise. Okay. All right. So now this is just a list of possibilities. It doesn't mean that all of these are going to work. Since this is a cubic, the most roots I can have is 3. So I'm not going to have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12 roots. I'm only going to have 3. So this is just basically a list of, possibilities. Okay. So what you do ideally is you try them out. Now, how do you know if they're going to work? Well, remember, when we do this, we are looking for values of x that give us y equals 0. So if we plug in, let's say 1, we have to ask ourselves, do we get 0? If we get 0, then we know we found one. Okay, so the easiest ones to plug in are 1 and negative 1. So usually we start with those. Now, in the interest of time, and since, I'm the teacher, I already know that x equals 2 is a root. So let's confirm. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to go, all right, y is equal to 2 cubed minus 2 times 2 squared plus 9 times 2 minus 18. So that gives me 8 minus 8 plus 18 minus 18, which is in fact 0. Okay, now here's where it gets a little weird, okay? Or not a little weird. Okay, if you know that x equals 2 is a solution, then you know x minus 2 is a factor. Okay, so what you're basically doing is you're solving the equation x equals 2 and you're setting it equal to 0. Now, here's where you're kind of start working backwards, okay? Factors divide things evenly. We're just going to call them things for now. So if I say 3 is a factor of 15, I know that 3 divides 15 without a remainder. So I know that x minus 2 is a factor of x cubed minus 2x squared plus 9x minus 18. I know that x minus 2 is going to divide that evenly. So x minus 2 divides x cubed, cubed, minus 2x squared plus 9x minus 18 evenly. So you have a remainder of 0. Okay, now the longest bit of this is actually the division. There's 2 ways to divide polynomials. If you're dividing a polynomial by a linear factor, which is what we're doing, we're going to use something called synthetic division. If you're dividing anybody else, you're going to do something called long division. Okay, so we're going to do long division so you can see how this works. Okay, so if you remember long division from like elementary school, you had a number on the outside, which was your divisor. And then on the inside, you had your dividend. Okay, and on the top, eventually you would have a quotient. Okay, so now this is kind of familiar, but kind of strange at the same time. So what you're going to do is you're going to lead off the x. Okay, you're only going to consider the x when you try to do this. Okay, so you have 1x, you need x cubed. So what do you need to multiply x by to get x cubed? That would be x squared. Okay, now you're going to distribute. So you get x cubed minus 2x squared. All right, now remember from elementary school, when you divide, when you bring your stuff down, you actually subtract it. So we're going to see a sign change. Okay, so that is 0, that is 0. So we're going to bring down the 9x and the 18. Okay, and then you're going to ask yourself, okay, what do I need to multiply x by to make a 9x? And that would be 9x. So you're going to distribute. So you get 9x minus 18. All right, now remember, when you do your long division, you're going to subtract. So we're going to change the sign. And we get our remainder of 0 as promised. So right now, what you know is this. X cubed minus 2x plus 9x minus 18 is equal to x minus 2 x squared plus 9. Okay? You also know that x is equal to 2. All right. Now, remember, this is a cube root, so, or a cubic, sorry. Apologize for that. So I should have 3 solutions. Well, there's one. Now I need to go get the other one. So what we're going to do is we're going to set this equal to 0 and solve it. So if I solve that, take the square root, both sides, you will notice I get an imaginary number. Okay, so my cube polynomial actually does have 3 roots. So the 3 solutions are x equals 2, positive 3i, negative 3i.